Hey everybody, let's get back to Louise. Okay, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Hope everybody had a good holiday. We did. Had family over, everything was good. Got a new hat. Went out to, the neighbor made us smoked a ham, so I was going over to get that Christmas morning. I realized I hadn't checked the mailbox. I opened it up and look what was inside. And nobody's told me who sent that to me yet. That's pretty cool right there, huh? Secret Santa. So anyway, I don't have anything cool this week like Casus and Brian Brady's place or Mopar, Larry's place, Pontiac. I'm getting everything sorted to get ready to get this motor back, which I hope is going to be in a couple of weeks. The latest saga is we're going to dyno it. You see there's a flange right here. Well, Joe's got an older dyno and he's never had this problem before I hear. So he couldn't adapt it. This flange on my crank is smaller than his adapter. Well, buddy John came to the rescue, the machinist, and he got it squared away. So we'll see when I'm going to get over there. Today's Friday, and anyway, bad Chad, right? So yeah, I don't know, next weekend we'll see. So I'm getting everything squared away. I'm glad I started because here's my tranny mount, right? And yeah, the threads are bad enough and it's eat up enough that the nuts aren't going to work. So I got one of those ordered. I've got stuff out. You know, I got my fans sitting here, pulleys, alternator pulley, alternator brackets, motor mounts, stuff that I think I need to have to get this thing put together. We'll be painting it. I'll be painting it, pulling it apart. I got to make a fuel line up to the from the pump. You know, I started off with this thing I got 3/8 inch line all the way to the front. Bigger pump, you know, Edelbrock pump, I believe it is. And then I got to make the 3/8 inch lines up to the carb. So, yeah, once I get the motor back, it'll be 2 or 3 or 4 days doing that. I think what I'm going to do is do a dyno and throw that up. Hopefully that's sooner than later. Like I say, get the motor home back here, and then it'll be Louise 10. And it's about time to change her name from Toxic Satellite to she's pretty freaking sweet. She will be soon. Now, here's the deal. Here's what I thought I was going to have to make a video of. I got this radiator. If you remember, my radiator was hammered, okay? So this is out of a 63 B body, which this is a 65 B body. The numbers here say 22 inch 63 B body, 361, 383, 426 wedge motors. Okay, so I'm like, yeah, so okay, that's good. So I was testing stuff out here, and this is laying a little bit differently than what I certainly remember when I put the motor or pulled the other one out. So what turns out is this bracket is a 1/2 inch longer than this bracket. So the sum total is, you know, she's not bolted in tight. You can see that it's angled this way. Okay, well, I thought, well, hell, I'll just go ahead and split this, go back to my, you know, knock a 1/2 inch out total, go back to my buddy Drew's, and he's got the welder and tack that baby up. Drew's the one that did all of that over there, right? Well, then I had a second thought. My second thought was, screw that, right? So we're gonna drop the motor in and make sure the fan doesn't hit the radiator or even be close. I think I'll probably be okay. I have no idea what the hell the deal was there. Okay, so I mentioned Larry Griffith. Who's Larry Griffith? Larry Griffith is one of the racers from Northwest Illinois. There's enclaves of racers everywhere, that New Jersey, Florida, you know, wherever, that they're semi-famous. And all of these racers know everybody. You know, Don Garlitz knows Larry Griffith, all these guys. So Larry, I don't have a video of him because I didn't know the man. So I went to his son's, Larry had a Western Auto, and Western Auto got bought out by Advance. They closed them up, but they're still working on cars and selling parts. So I went to his son and said, hey, I know Blue, I know Pontiac, I'm from Savannah, you know, I'd like to meet your dad. He's like, yeah, go up to his shop, you know where it is? I said, yeah. I said, you want to call him? He says, no. He said, just go up, he's up there, all right? So I roll up on Larry's place, and sitting outside's a 59 Dodge pickup, 4-wheel drive, and it's rusty, but it's cool as hell, right? It's clutch truck, and anyway, factory truck. He drives that down from his house. He's up on a hill. So anyway, I go on in, I'm like, Larry, and I go in, he's got an office, and I'm like, so we go in there, he's working on a first-gen Dodge truck over there. Inside, I see the drag pack Challenger sitting up on a hoist. There's another 63, 65, something sitting there on a hoist, putting a 4-link in it. Car underneath of a, you know, cover with blankets on and everything. So introduced myself, and I said, just like to meet you, you know. And you know, he's used to this, you know, guys wanting to talk to him. I don't look too threatening. So we talked for 2 hours. I didn't do a video because you don't roll up on a dude and say, hey, I'm Chuck. I'd like to video all your stuff and throw it up on the internet. What do you think of that? So I didn't do that. So I hope to get one of him. So, okay, Larry. I think he was a driver mostly. Looked like he had a 65 Cornet he raced at one time. Kind of came to fame a little bit. I don't know if you want to call it nationally, or people knew him more. He had a 68 Hemi Dart. He was the second guy to get one. He got it in April of 68. I saw the paperwork. He's still got that. Okay. Don Garlett's got the first one. I had heard they made 50 Hemi Darts and 50 Hemi Barracudas back then. He says 100. And so, okay, he would know. So anyway, this is Larry on the return road in 1968, I think it says, I can't see it. Well, then somebody else bought it and restored it with Larry, and that's the same picture almost 50 years later on the return road at Cordova. So, yeah, the car under the cover is a, no kidding, Hemi, 64 Hemi Savoy, the aluminum front end. Remember up at Brian Brady's, he was showing me that scoop and the hood and all that. Well, this is the car that had it, and in fact, it's got that real thin metal bumper on it. I didn't get a look at it. Like I said, I'd like to go back and see him again. It's painted and lettered up, race car. The one up on the hoist that he's doing his own 4-link for, it's another, I think it's a 64 something, or it could be a 65, I don't know what it is, but another factory race car, and he's doing a 4-link. I'm like, where'd you get this? He goes, I'm making it. And I'm like, of course you are. So fast forward, we got a new Dodge Challenger out there in 08, and then drag pack cars came out. So Larry had a drag pack car. Okay. And he won a Wally with it in Gainesville. And whenever, I don't know. You guys can look it up. So Larry is the old school of the old school, but he loves the 3rd-gen Hemis, okay? He worked with Arrington Performance, Arrington Research. They're the Hemi guys, 3rd-gen go-to. They got a 5.7 Hemi up to 650 horse. A lot of interesting stories about that. Testing it, they spun a rod bearing, smoked a rod bearing. What happened? We're losing oil pressure. You know, those Hemi blocks are drilled into the mains. I think there's 3 on each side. They bored through each one of these cross drilled bolts and put an oil pressure gauge on them and ran this thing, and at 7,000 RPM, it's dropping to 20 PSI. Well, turns out they're scratching their head. They got no idea. So they took the oil pan and put windows on the side. See the oil level. So then when they're doing a dyno test, they go ahead and the oil just goes right on down, you know. And as soon as they pull the power, back, whoop, right back up. So what was happening, it was being pressurized. And they had to come up with some way through NHRA approved methods to get her, allow it. They could fix it, and they did. So anyway, so Larry, he had that 68 Hemi Dart, and he won 3 championships in UDRA. It's an ancient, if you will, sanctioning body. that started in '64 out in California, I believe. It's still around. It was real big in the Midwest back then. So anyway, move on up. Larry's a factory racer. He got this car. I forgot to show you. This is the Dart at Schuler Motors in Morrison, Illinois. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that. They sponsored him. They got the paperwork in order, and that place is still there. And there's the car when it was redone sitting outside there. Pretty cool. So anyway, move forward. He's going to need, he wants to keep racing. The factory guys evidently had, if you knew they're factory guys, they had the name on the Dodge on the quarter and one on the hood, you know. So anyway, Larry got a 70 Demon, 71 Demon, sorry. He started racing. Now, this is kind of where I showed up in 1981. You probably wonder how I get to meet these guys. Well, in 1981, I'm a kid, and guy in town, Craig McCoy, Blue, he had a 71 Demon. And I'd be hanging around there and he'd be like, what you want? You know, and I said, well, I want to go fast. And he says, okay, all right, then go talk to Pontiac. I'm at Pontiac. So anyway, yeah, that's the story. So back to the Demon. So Larry gets this and starts racing it. And then this is actually a 70 Duster, he tells me. I said, Larry, so where is the Demon? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, really? He says, yeah, it's a ghost. You know, these cars, they get sold. This one went to Wisconsin, I believe, somewhere. And that's that, you know, they get lost, you know, they don't know whose car's who. Kind of got a line on a car, maybe down in Tennessee. Some guy's racing, 71 Demon, aluminum, or I'm sorry, a fiberglass front clip on it. So it's got a VIN number and it's gonna have a Duster VIN on it, you know, VS or VL 23, you know, and all that. So anyway, but so anyway, Larry's up there and he still going at it, still working on cars. He's got at 66, he wants to put a modern Hemi into that, 66 Coronet. Back in the 71, I think he co-founded a speed shop called the Car Shop in Moline, Illinois with Lee Smith. And it's still there, I believe. I haven't been by. Be fun to check it out. They raced, they sponsored, you know, they had a car, so, and it was that Demon, which was pretty cool. So anyway, I hope you all had a good Christmas and shit. Anyway, I screwed up the end of that video. Okay. Hope you all had a good Christmas. Let's hope for a better New Year, get past this COVID thing, and get this world back on track, all right? Happy New Year.